What's up, guys? This is Andre Kenshin here, and welcome back to another episode. This is NBA 2K14, the third episode of Resimulation into 2014 season. Last episode, we ended up doubleheader. The first game was the Clippers beat the Lakers by 7, 111 to 104, and then second game, Heat survived over the Chicago Bulls, 100 to 96. And now we're going to next match of features to beautiful downtown San Antonio at the AT&T Center. It features the rematch of the last season's Western Conference Finals as Marc Gasol of the Memphis Grizzlies take on Tim Duncan of the San Antonio Spurs. In real life, in the Western Conference Finals, the Spurs sweep the Grizzlies in the Western Conference Finals 3-0. And 4-0 is sweep by the San Antonio Spurs led by Tim Duncan before fell in the 2013 finals against the Heat. And now, for this game, the Spurs gonna use the alternate jersey and the Grizzlies gonna keep that dark blue. So that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin. We are moments away here at the AT&T Center in San Antonio. Take it away and send it over to Kevin Harlan here at the AT&T Center in San Antonio. Before the start, and let's get started, enjoy the video. Here he is.
Welcome to NBA basketball. This is 2K Sports bringing it to you live. The NBA season just getting rolling. It's going to be the Memphis Grizzlies up against the San Antonio Spurs. We'll catch up again at halftime.
And we see the Spurs getting ready to go. This is it. Opening day. The regular season is set to begin, and we're thrilled to bring you all the live action right here on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan with my broadcast partners, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke. Man, can you feel the excitement in the air? And to tip off opening night, let's check out the starting lineups. First for Memphis, Conley and Allen are the guard set. And at the center position, an impressive combination of size and skill. The 7'1" Spaniard, Marc Gasol. Then there's Tayshaun Prince, and it's Randolph in at the 4. And for San Antonio, in the backcourt, Parker and Ginobili. And in the middle, out of Brazil, taken with the 28th pick back in 2008, the 6'11" pivot man, Thiago Splitter. Then there's Kawhi Leonard, and it's Duncan in at the 4 slot.
Well, in many ways, the Grizzlies aren't like most teams out west. They don't try to overpower you with offense, and they don't have a superstar to lean on for big baskets at the end, but they still know how to get wins in the tough Western Conference.
And the Spurs start out with the ball. Parker takes to Ginobili. Back to Parker. Here's the 3. That shot's good on the assist by Ginobili. Parker's got the first 3 points of the night up on the board for the Spurs. And when they did last year, Memphis would go 56 and 26 overall. And Steve, with 34 of those wins courtesy of other teams in the Western Conference.
Well, they didn't seem to play like a lot of the other teams in the West, but it didn't matter. I mean, defense, toughness, rebounding, they were who they were. They established their identity, and that's one of the reasons they became such a tough team in that conference.
And the technical free throw is good.
You know, I thought San Antonio really was an outstanding team. Fun to watch, excellent at both ends of the floor. But one statistical thing that stood out was they defended at a high level without committing a lot of fouls. That takes discipline and smarts.
Beans inside, and he's able to get it back. There's the bucket, good. Allen's got his first bucket in this one. So it's San Antonio now. And Doris Burke caught up with Coach Greg Popovich. Doris?
On his mind, the difficult task of defending Zach Randolph. He said, Randolph's especially tough because he's not only a go-to scorer on the low block and the pinch post, but also a guy who can pick up a lot of second chance points with his work on the glass. He's He's a 20-10 double-double guy for a reason. We'll have our hands full trying to slow him down. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Doris. Clark, as you said about that Spurs team, just a team that does not foul very often. Doesn't give away 3 points. And, Steve, they led the league in fewest fouls last season.
Well, that's part of Greg Popovich's mantra. Don't give up anything easy. You can't guard a free throw, obviously. You can't guard a fast break. So important for the Spurs to avoid fouls and take care of the basketball and be efficient offensively, and that helps their D. Well, Ginobili has a knack for taking charges defensively, great anticipation skills, and he's really quick. He's a phenomenal athlete. So he beats his player to the spot, and then he's willing to take the contact.
But that's just part of the larger picture for Manu. I mean, he is just a winner on the basketball court, a terrific competitor. He does everything he can to help his team win and to give them an edge. Taking charge, running down loose balls, hitting clutch shots. Whatever you need, he'll try to give it to you.
Conley, the pass to Prince, and that one falls coming off Conley's feet.
And they're nearly perfect from the floor early on. 4 of their first 5 shots they've drained.
Mike Conley, the starting point guard in Memphis pretty much his whole career. I'm sure he would agree that last season was probably his best yet.
And here's Conley. Kawhi Leonard getting his 3 to go. And just under 2.5 minutes elapsed here in the first. It's Allen with the drive. Count that one. And for Conley last season, an uptick in three-pointer and free throws attempted. Very interesting combination of numbers there.
Well, and for a perimeter player, a lot of times that can be the key to offensive efficiency, because when you can shoot from the three-point line, it makes you even quicker than you already are. Defenses have to attack and chase you off that line, and now you can get into the paint and make other plays happen.
Here's Allen, following the basket by Tim Duncan. Outside Randolph. Memphis moving it around. 5 to shoot. Here's Prince. It's hauled in by Ginobili.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
Parker with it. And Allen picks him up defensively. And Gasol sends it back. Ginobili kicks to Leonard. And stolen by Prince. And he lays it straight in. Prince has got his second bucket.
It is so hard to contain. He just seems to get it done however he has to do it.
So Memphis going with almost an entire new group here. Kuvas checked in for Gasol. Davis comes in for Zach Randolph. Mike Miller's checked in for Tayshaun Prince. And Franklin sent in for Tony Allen. That's good.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the three-point line. That's 4 of the last 5. You got to run those guys off the line.
I agree, and the defense is practically giving them those shots, though.
Here's Kufis, and it's blocked by Pendergraft. 1:02 left to play in the first quarter. Green kicks to Jackson. McGrady. That's good, and it's Jackson with the assist that time. McGrady's got himself on the board with 3 there. Bayless off the pitch from Franklin. A shot's good from Bayless.
I don't know what's happening to their defense. I mean, they don't have any effort, any purpose.
And it's really costing them. I mean, the last 5 baskets at that end have been on very easy looks.
Spurs leading by 4. Here's Jackson. Second chance effort. And, there's a whistle. He was going up for a layup, and while it looked like there was some contact, I wasn't sure they were going to call it a foul shot or not, but sure enough they have. So we've got a couple of free throws coming up. San Antonio shooting their second and third shots at the line right here.
You know, guys, the Grizzlies are a bit of a throwback team, and I like their moniker of grit and grind. It really was their identity of toughness and physicality, and I thought that's how they played, and as a result, they had a terrific season.
That's going to be over and back. Not watching for the line that time. 27 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Shoots from the block. And Davis sends it back. The feed to Bayless. The pass to Okoye. He kicks it to Bayless. Puts the lead pass in front of him. Davis. And that comes off the assist by Jared Bayless. Davis has got his first points in this one. And here is McGrady.
Killer instinct on display there.
Wow.
Fantastic.
He didn't even flinch, just buried it like it was any other shot. Unbelievable.
A free-flowing first quarter. Great scoring through 1. Spurs out in front, up 6. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back in just a moment.
Tune in for a scary night of basketball. Halloween in the NBA. Carmelo Anthony and the New York Knicks take on Joakim Noah and the Chicago Bulls. This Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Time.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And what do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for San Antonio?
Well, I'll tell you what, they must have had a good shoot-around because they've been fantastic from long range so far, fellas.
Yeah, their passing has been terrific, too. Clark, we're seeing a lot of assists, really moving, a lot of flow offensively. I like what I see.
Down low, here's Okoye. He used that fit to get in close.
It's the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint. I guess the good news is they've taken away the outside shot.
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter how good their perimeter defense is if they're going to allow inside looks as easy as that.
Ginobili kicks to Parker. And again, it's the Spurs from deep.
Manu has always been very versatile in how he plays, but it seems that over the past few seasons, he's embraced the role of a playmaker more and more. That makes him a lot harder to guard.
Dish out to Bayless. He passes to Okoye. And again, it's the Grizzlies from deep.
How about that for a response?
They will say they can give the three as well as they can take the three.
Parker kicks to Ginobili. He feeds it to Pendergrass. Kicks it out to Ginobili. And now the Grizzlies. Fast break. Bayless leading the charge. Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Guys, Kawhi Leonard, the Spurs' highest draft pick since Tim Duncan, and he's been a starter from his first game in the NBA. Coach Popovich says he's really a special player at both ends of the court, and what makes me so confident about him is that he wants it so badly. He comes early, he stays late, and he's coachable. I think he's going to be a star in the face of the Spurs. Big praise from a coach not known for hyperbole, guys.
Well, Doris, it's hard to put a ceiling on him. He does have star potential. So Memphis ends up going with the new group. Prince outside. Goes up on the wing, and the jumper is on the mark. Prince has got 6. Spurs leading by 4.
The Spurs would end up as the second seed in the West, and we're right in the hunt for being the top seed for the majority of last season. But one reason they fell short was that they just weren't as good as they needed to be during in-conference games.
We're looking out for San Antonio. Bellinelli, he's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. Corey Joseph comes in for Manu Ginobili. And it's Mills in for Jeff Pendergraft. Going back to the Spurs, they did well against the West, but Steve didn't come close to matching the win totals of every other top team in the West.
Yeah, they would end the season with a 33-19 conference record, which, is pretty good, but still only 5th best in the West. It shows you how strong the Western Conference was a year ago, particularly at the top.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. This, of course, their first opportunity to play Memphis.
Well, they came out on top of what was a very heated conference finals last postseason, so that should add a little something extra to the atmosphere here tonight.
Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. Tim Duncan, he's checked in for Parker. Kawhi Leonard comes in for Marco Bellinelli. And it's Ginobili in for Corey Joseph. Here's Prince. That's good. Now just a 2-point Spurs lead. And maybe a little bit of yapping out there, some words exchanged.
We call that jaw-jacking in basketball parlance. Maybe a little bit of that going on. It's tough. You get a chance to redeem yourself a little here, but it doesn't mean much compared to the playoffs.
Outside Gasol. Prince with it. Now guarded by Splitter. And for those of you just joining us in the second quarter, with about 3 minutes gone by.
That's far too good a look to give them from behind the arc.
Well, it's 3 of the last 5 makes, having been behind the 3-point line. So, got to make some adjustments defensively.
So, timeout's called here. The first for Memphis. With a break in the action, we've got a chance now to look at last year's top rebounders. In fourth, Zach Randolph.
How about the season he had in the paint? Just rebounding numbers were mind-boggling.
You look at Ginobili, and he's slender and doesn't scream athleticism, but he is nimble, and nobody in the league is more of a contortionist going to the basket than Manu.
Prince's shot is good.
And he's shaking off a poor first-quarter shooting effort. He's really starting to turn it on now, guys. Let's see the stat sheet here on Michael Conley. Solid numbers last season, 3rd in steals, and he also finished in the top 20 in assists. So this is a guy who really did a nice job of sharing the ball with his teammates.
And we rewind it and look back at his number 3 ranking among steals leaders. I mean, you can see that he was a lockdown defender, and he was that way all season long, Steve.
Manu Ginobili, Clark, as you mentioned, an unconventional driver. Left-handed that throws guys off.
Yeah, it's kind of a herky-jerky type maneuver, but, it's that side step. We call it the Euro step. It might as well be called the Manu step these days. James Harden copied it from Ginobili, but it's so hard to stay in front of him.
1:10 left now here in the second. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Michael Conley. That is his first foul of the game. And some changes here for the Spurs. Jeff Pendergraft's checking in for Splitter. Jackson comes in for Kawhi Leonard. And Tony Parker is subbed in for Patrick Mills. 6 to shoot. The Spurs need to get a shot off here. And that one's good. Parker.
3rd three in a row right there.
Adjustment time for the defense, guys.
Parker against Conley. To the middle. Tries to keep it alive. Allen. Randolph. Here's Gasol. Floats one. And it's good on the way up. Gasol's got 6 points.
That is an elegant move to drop in the floater there, guys.
Backing him down is Duncan. Parker against Conley. Stolen by Michael Conley. 1 second separating the shot clock and game clock. Allen dishes to Randolph. Parker with the steal. He dishes it to Duncan. Another one falls for San Antonio. That'll do it for the first half. Spurs lead by 6. Live from the AT&T Center in San Antonio, you're watching 2K Sports.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
It's opening day in the NBA, and all is right in the 2K sports world. Hello, I'm Damon Bruce. San Antonio on top against Memphis. They're looking for a winning tone to start this young season. Manu Ginobili's not felt much resistance against Memphis. He's up to 9 points and is also helping set the table. Who's ready to eat? And a resilient Grizzlies team is staying in it. They're scoring effortlessly. The defense has been completely overmatched. We've seen Tayshaun Prince in top form. Always a threat to go off in any given game, and he hasn't disappointed. Checking out some of the games still in progress. For the Suns at U.S. Airways Center, we find them trailing to Portland, about midway through the third out there. And another game going on, Atlanta with the lead against the Mavericks at American Airlines Center. A comfy advantage for them in the third. And now, a look at the other NBA action. The Charlotte Bobcats trailing the Rockets out in Houston. A lot of ground to make up for them, and not a lot of game left. And that's it for us here in the studio. Time to send it on back out to Kevin Harlan and the gang for the start of the second half.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third.
What a game for Tony Parker. He's got 11 points, and he's got 9 points from behind the arc.
Yeah, that's been an important part of his game today. He's made his open looks.
Shot by Prince. That one's good from the corner. Prince has got his team on the board first here in the second half for the Grizzlies.
You know, a big part of why the Spurs were so good last season, guys, was that they were able to finish games strong. You think a group of vets might run out of gas, but the opposite was true with this group. They turned it up down the stretch and were one of the most productive teams in the league in terms of fourth quarter points.
And a chance here to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Well, guys, Spurs head coach Greg Popovich, one of the most respected coaches in the league. As hard as he works, he's never took the game or himself too seriously. Asked about his creativity as a coach, he said, quote, "Oh, heck, I don't know anything about innovation. Here's my innovation. I drafted Tim Duncan." Okay, end of story. Guys, always a straight shooter.
Thank you, Doris. I would say Coach Popovich sold himself a little bit short. He's a very humble guy and very well respected.
He sure is. He knows how much Duncan does out there, but we all know what a great coach Pop is.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
Yeah, he's sensing this is a critical time in this game, guys.
Well, Clark, a big part of why the Spurs were so good last year in the fourth was because they had so many options when possessions, Steve, start getting critical and the game is tight.
Well, no question. You've got Parker to create off the dribble. You can always throw it into the low post to Duncan. But on top of that, you've got a roster full of guys who understand how to play the game and know how to play each other. Just the experience that this group has gained together over the years, I think allows them to execute under pressure.
Ed Davis is checked in for Zach Randolph.
And that's 4 straight from the field, guys. Off to a quick start this third quarter.
Parker passes to Green. That drops. And it comes off an assist from Parker. Green's got his first 3 points of the game.
The thing you notice right off the bat from the statistics, just his three-point percentage. I mean, it's a terrific number, and it's a combination of things. Good shot selection, his mechanics are solid, and his movement on the perimeter is outstanding.
And also, Steve, I think he's the definition of a lockdown defender. It doesn't matter what style of player he's up against. He can handle just about anything that's thrown at him. Well, you think about it, Tony Allen, when you talk about his game, he may not be a marquee star in the NBA, but his arrival in Memphis has coincided with the team really developing an identity of physicality and toughness, not to mention with them becoming a factor in the West as well.
Conley kicks to Allen. Dishes it to Gasol. Feeds it to Conley. Shot clock at 6. To the inside. And it's Allen slamming it down. And the action on hold, as it appears there's been an injury. Yep, he's definitely in a bad way out there right now. Tough to see.
And you see a player have to come out of the game like this. I mean, you just hope for the best.
That's exactly right. You do hope for the best. You cross your fingers, say a prayer, and hope it's nothing major. We'll see what the update is here shortly.
Looking at who's out there now for the Spurs. Steven Jackson's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. Ginobili comes in for Daniel Green. And Tracy McGrady subbed in for Tony Parker. Here's Splitter, right through the knee for the layup. Splitter's got his first basket. And Clark, you mentioned Tony Allen flying under the radar a bit offensively. You know, he can be erratic. In fact, back in Boston, I think they called him, and Steve helped me with this, they called him Trick or Treat Tony, because you weren't certain just what you were going to get from him from game to game.
That's right. One of the great nicknames I've ever heard. But, I think when you ask people around the league, they're really valuing what Allen brings to the table.
1:30 left to play in the third. Ginobili kicks to McGrady. Back to Ginobili. Shoots the three. Hope they get it back. McGrady outside. And the three ball is good. McGrady's got 8.
Clark, they're really struggling guarding that three-point line.
And they're not making up for it with their own shots from deep either, Steve. Memphis ended up 2 games back of the Spurs in the hunt for the Southwest Division title last season, but they played well against the division, going 10-6, but just came up a little short for the title.
Here's Bayless. That's in there. Davis with the assist. Bayless has got his 3rd bucket of the night.
This has really become an intense ballgame ever since halftime.
Boy, the effort from both teams here, Steve, is terrific.
Feeds away. And it's San Antonio with another. In such a tough division, the Southwest, as you were talking about, Clark. Memphis has yet to win a division title, as they often get beat out by one of the Texas teams, but they always are in the hunt.
And I don't think it'll be too long, Kevin, before they hoist up that first banner for winning the Southwest Division. And the way this organization has put together this roster, they've made some shrewd moves to keep their flexibility. And you look at the Texas teams, particularly San Antonio and Dallas, starting to age. It's probably just a matter of time for the Grizzlies. And what an amazing run it was for the Spurs last year in the postseason. They swept the Lakers, survived Golden State, and then dismantled Memphis on their way to the NBA Finals. And then, of course, we're seconds away from another championship era.
Kicks to Gasol, and it's sent back by Leonard. Miller against Jackson. Misses from short range.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
Textbook right there. Nice pass, great catch, beautiful finish.
It could go. Cannot hit. And the game still closely contested as we end the third quarter. Spurs out in front, up 3. And we're just moments away from the start of the fourth quarter. Stay with us.
It's a Halloween broadcast of the NBA. Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors take on Chris Paul and the Los Angeles Clippers this Thursday, 10:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 Pacific.
And we're set to start the action up here in the fourth quarter. And if it's anything like the first three, we should be in for a treat. And a moment now to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for San Antonio.
Guys, the passing we've seen from them has been tremendous. Very unselfish.
And they continue to knock down the long-range three-point shot as well.
This is it to Ginobili. And that's out of bounds. San Antonio will retain possession. And a quick look now at how San Antonio's schedule is shaping up. Moving on from this game, they're scheduled to take on the Lakers at the Staples Center. And that one will start off a 3-game road trip for the team.
A lot of attention on the Nuggets. You know, that Denver game really is interesting to watch.
That is good.
Absolutely on fire from beyond the arc.
Yeah, that's where he's getting his points.
Knocks it loose. Kufis the pass to Okoye. The shot misses. Excellent D there from Pendergraft. San Antonio leading by 6. Parker outside. Pass to Ginobili. From past the arc. That drops. And it comes off an assist from Parker. Parker's got 3 assists in the game. Pass to Allen. The feed to Kufis. Double by Pendergraft. Koyen, he's covered by Ginobili. Here's Gasol, and the Grizzlies tack on 2 more.
One of the reasons they're behind is because we haven't seen enough of that. He needs to become a bigger part of the offense.
Leonard, headed by Prince, and again it's the Spurs from deep.
But you have to be aware of his specific capacity to knock down the corner 3. That's where he's most comfortable. That's where he's going to be. So defensively, you got to keep tabs on him.
And something else that comes to mind with him is how many guys he's given the poster treatment to. I mean, flying high to power one down while the defender stands there looking for mercy.
And Davis is checked in for the Grizzlies. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Hey guys, over that last break, I was able to catch the message the Grizzlies head coach was giving to his team. He is not pleased with the score and implored them to try to make a push right now, saying, "We don't have time, fellas. If we can't make a dent soon, I'll have to pull the plug." Pretty blunt, Kevin. Back to you.
Thanks, Doris. And the pass to Parker. Makes the lead pass. Gasol with the block. Allen with it. Conley dishes to Davis. Using his post move to get the 2 points.
What a display of offense we've seen today, and it's only getting better.
Well, both defenses have been on their heels all day, and it's begun to take its toll.
Backing him down is Duncan. A jumper. Again, the Spurs good for 2.
Well, I think he shot the ball well, guys, but I don't think he shot it enough. The more shots he gets from here on out, the more they'll stretch out this lead.
To the paint. Here is Splitter. Leonard kicks to Parker for the 3. And again, it's San Antonio with the 3.
This looks like a pregame shoot-around with all the threes they're allowing.
Yeah, I don't know, Parker. I think there might be even more defense in warm-ups. I mean, this is kind of embarrassing.
Gasol backing down. Makes it off the glass.
I'll tell you what, he's enjoyed a very good day shooting the ball so far. He can bring them right back into this.
Here's Ginobili. Takes it into the teeth of the knee and converts the layup. Ginobili's got 5 points now in the quarter.
His shooting's been outstanding. Definitely one of the reasons his team is up in this game.
Here's Prince. And the shot is good.
Boy, I tell you what, he's having one of those days where if he takes it, he makes it.
And Parker, here we go. And here we go with Allen running it up the court. And the shot is good.
That is a terrific effort on the shot. He's giving up a lot of size, but he still finds a way to score.
I don't think that affected him in the least, though, Steve. I mean, he made it look like he was the bigger guy.
Zach Randolph's checked in for Ed Davis. Here's McGrady. He kicks it to Duncan. That's good. Great play set up by T-Man, Tracy McGrady. That's 10 points for Tim Duncan. The Grizzlies trail by 13. Conley into the lane. Gets it to go. We've played just over 3.5 minutes now in the fourth quarter. Splitter kicks to Parker. Outside Leonard. Lets it go with the three. And again, it's the Spurs from deep.
And we've seen a few mix-ups defensively out there on the perimeter.
More than a few. I mean, the open looks they've allowed from long range have turned into a lot of points.
Prince, the pass to Conley. The 17-footer. Here's Gasol. Banked in off the glass.
And that kind of power move has become a trademark for him.
And it's out of bounds to the Spurs as San Antonio retains possession.
He had no choice but to lunge for that pass to stop it from getting through.
That was a good job. Could have been a quick bucket if he doesn't knock it out of bounds there.
And Leonard gets it to go.
He's a big reason why they have the lead right now. He's made all of his field goal attempts thus far and remains hot from the floor.
Conley dishes to Allen. He feeds it to Gasol. There's the block. And it's out of bounds. The Grizzlies able to retain possession here. So Memphis ends up going with the new group. 34 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And that one's good.
Excellent communication on the inbound play there, guys. He got in a good position, and the pass was as it needed to be, on time and on target.
And the call will be against Tony Parker. That's foul number 2 for him. There's 25 seconds left here in the fourth quarter.
Tough break for the defense. He took the heat and drew the whistle.
Yep, but when you get there late, that's what happened.
That's good for McCoyan. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Jeff Pendergrass checking in for Splitter. Bellinelli comes in for Tim Duncan. Steven Jackson checked in for Kawhi Leonard. Miss Mills in for Tony Parker. Jackson, that's good.
They didn't take their time wrapping this game up. They pretty much did it in a hurry.
Yeah, they had a nice spurt to polish this one off.
Passes it to Okoye for 3. Good. And Miller gets the assist. And Mills gives to Pendergrass. Lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that.
You got to feel pretty good about this win tonight, guys. Defending their home.
Yeah, and just riding it out here now. I mean, they gave the fans what they wanted.
And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. Some days, Clark, everything goes right for a team, and they just had one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, these guys played a great all-around basketball game here.
That concludes the first game of the NBA season. So for Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, Doris Burke, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying so long. Thanks for joining us. Now it's time for the Jordan Player of the Game, Kawhi Leonard.
So another great game here. This was the rematch of the Western Conference Finals has been prevailed. As you see, 22 points for Tony Parker as the Spurs helped to defeat the Grizzlies 93-81. You see the fourth quarter outlast. 30-21 their outlast for Spurs score. The Grizzlies in the fourth. The outlast score is 30-21. Tony Parker got 22 points with 4 assists. Kawhi Leonard got 20 points and 4 assists. And Tayshaun Prince got 18 points and Acunas got 16. What a good game for San Antonio. Unfortunately, Danny Green is out for a strain abdomen. Is out for 2 to 4 weeks. As of let's see the injury report. Something happened. They will be downgraded to 13 rating, 82 rating for an injury. They will be out for 2 to 4 weeks due to strained abdomen. It's out. I think it's out for the injury. It will be 2 to 4 weeks. So Eric Bledsoe is out for 46 weeks due to broken toe. So we're gonna be good now. So as the Spurs beat the Grizzlies in the opening night, and now we're on our way to the next game, going to Oakland, California, as the Lakers take on the Grizzlies. It will be tomorrow night, and we're going to next Monday and Tuesday, on their way to Chicago and LA, as Carmelo Anthony and the New York Knicks take on Derrick Rose of the Chicago Bulls, and followed by the Chris Paul and the LA Clippers host the Golden State Warriors. So there will be next Friday night. We're on their way to LA and Brooklyn, as well as Tim Duncan of the San Antonio Spurs take on Kobe Bryant and the Lakers, and then after that, LeBron James of the Miami Heat take on Deron Williams in the Red Hot Brooklyn Nets. It's gonna be a good one. So it's gonna time to save the game here for this file. Alright, so we're going tomorrow night on Friday. You're heading to Oakland, California. In Oakland, as Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers take on Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors. And after that, we're going to the final game of ESPN Sunday as the Flex are announced to confirm. Heading to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as Josh Smith of the Detroit Pistons take on Larry Sanders of the what's this guy? As Josh Smith and the Detroit Pistons take on Brandon Knight of the Milwaukee Bucks. That will be the last game of the season for the Pistons and the Bucks for the Central rivalry. And followed by the second game, we're on our way to Sunday. Heads to Oakland, California, as the playoff pushes on. As Chris Paul and Los Angeles Clippers take on Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors. It's gonna be a good game now here in Oakland, and that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin. As we earlier, Luka Doncic faces former team for the first time since they trading for Nico Harrison on February 1. They trade to Anthony Davis from Lakers to Mavericks. So once again, this is Andre Kenshin say so for AT&T Center in San Antonio, as the Spurs beat the Grizzlies 93-81. I'm Andre Kenshin say so for AT&T Center in San Antonio. We will see you tomorrow in our Oracle Arena in Oakland for the Los Angeles Lakers take on the Golden State Warriors. Continue coverage of the tomorrow here in Oakland, California. This is Andre Kenshin say so for AT&T Center San Antonio, and it's time to say sign up and peace out. Good night, and reminder, we will see you tomorrow here in the Oracle Arena in Oakland for the Lakers and the Warriors. Sign up and peace out. Good night, and thanks for watching.